what Garvin does. You know, do you know what we're about? Basically, boxes and covers, right? Not anymore. We're doing the boxes and covers yet, but we're blossoming out quite a bit at this minute. We're trying to get a lot of new products. You know what? Everybody's got a box, and they're fighting over who you got, EGS here? You know, the 4S box, 4S, ES, or whatever it is.
4S, 4S,
yeah, I mean, the 4SD, whatever the Ds and everything like that. So, I mean, everybody's fighting over that stuff, and the prices, just, you know, you can sell a skid of those things, and you really haven't made any money. By the time you put them on a truck and drop them at the contractor, you haven't made any money. So, Garvin, we kind of steer clear for the most part. We have the stuff, but we don't have it priced right because we have no volume to do with anything. So on that particular item. So likewise on half-inch and 3/4 inch and 1-inch fittings. There's a huge volume of those things, so we're not generally that competitively priced on them, be it set screw or compression. Once we get past and get an inch, a quarter, inch and a half, we start having things where we're just about there, and then from about 2-inch on up, we seem to do pretty well. So we're competitive out there. We can be, at least when needed. So that's what we're trying to do, and so we're trying to, you know, be innovative and do come up with some creative things as opposed to just being like everybody else. We've had some growing pains. We've lost some people. We've gained some people. We've taken our catalog and we've now gone from a basically 180-page catalog to about a 380-page catalog. So we've more than doubled. We doubled our SKUs and everything, and we're still kind of fiddling with things and trying to get everything just right and get our volumes up so that hopefully get better pricing, you know, out to everybody and better pricing on the factory. About, I would say, somewhere between 90 and 95% of our product is made offshore, is made in China and or other India in some cases. A lot of the bean plants, things like that, come from India. Don't know why, but a lot of people, they all make them there. It's just the way it is. So India, for some reason, has the better capability than China for the most part. China's been getting cracked down on with some air issues and some other things, so, and power issues. They're hurting even with the new dam that they got that they built. They're still running power problems over there. They have brownouts or whatever you want to call them. So, but anyway, to get going in that, like I said, you guys can buzz through the catalog when you want there. I have one sheet, a blue sheet in there. The one strongest thing that Paramont really supports us on and that we try to do right, and we should almost own the Chicago market, is the Chicago plenum market. And we have a separate sheet on the plenum there in the catalog. And the 3 items so that nobody forgets them: the plenum boxes, the plenum whips, and the knockout seals with the gaskets. Some of the people have the hardest time finding those, you know, the KOS seals with the gaskets, and we're here. We got them in stock. I don't think we ever run out of those. We keep such a huge volume. We've got all kinds of things that we're supplying on that, so we just basically never run out. Continuing on with the plenum, and everybody's kind of familiar about plenum boxes. This one here may look a little different because it's stainless steel. Very few people make stainless steel plenum boxes and that. The other thing that's special about our plenum boxes is the little knockout punches now. Back in the days in everybody else's plenum box, the guy has to get it out there and he has to drill a hole in it where he wants it and everything. Now, take the knockout, use it, and you're all set. So, and this is, our whole line is being switched over to plenum type boxes here with these knockouts and everything. So we make more combinations, we make more plenum than anything. If you see the reverse side of this sheet, you'll see how many items, you know, don't even go to the catalog, go to that sheet if you keep it handy there and see how many items we have. And there'll be new items created as time goes on. So to be aware of that. I'm also going to refer to this sheet just to demonstrate. I didn't bring everything with to do and handle and go for, but another fascinating thing, and then here's the thing. There's not many people here. I was expecting a crowd, so you guys are somebody's gonna wind up with something here. Mr. Garvin has given me a wonderful little grand prize hand out here at the end of this, And basically, it's got a retail value of over $400. So now, if everybody pays attention, we'll see who gets the answer right at the end of this thing here. So I'm going to give away the answer during the conversation here. So, okay? So hopefully everybody's listening. We'll see whose hand goes up the fastest at the end. Garvin's an old company. They've been around in Chicago forever. And that, matter of fact, before Sam Garvin actually created Garvin Industries, he used to work for Thomas Edison. The company goes back that far at the creation of the light bulb, and basically Sam Garvin was an employee. He was one of the 6 employees that Thomas Edison had. So that's how old we are. It goes back. We used to be on Lake Street, and we've now moved over to Franklin Park, and we've just about grown out of Franklin Park also. So that's coming. I'm going to move some big things. This is not on a sheet, but kind of keep in mind that we do prefab. If you hear that buzz, I know certain people advertise it in their catalogs now that they're doing it. We actually can do it. We can, as you see here with the color, right in Franklin Park. If you get somebody that wants yellow connectors, they want orange connectors, boxes, they want them orange, we can, give you a price and go ahead and see if you can get it done. We usually have been competitive. We were talking about Gibson. Gibson and Continental have both used us for painting and things like that. Continental uses, a lot of times they use Sunrise or Brook, I know. Gibson uses a variety of people, and they're all over the place with who they use. So keep this in mind. We can do a lot of different things and paint. We even did one job just recently for a guy where not only did we put it in the box, put all this stuff together like this, but we actually labeled it for him so that, and we put them all in a box and we labeled the outside of the box that it was, right side and blah, 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 where it was going. I mean, we'll put the floor number in case it's a you guys are doing downtown work, I'm sure. So keep that in mind that we can do that for you. Items that are kind of unique and unusual. I'm going to stick with the steel boxes for them, and we'll get into the funkier stuff a little bit. Not many people have seen this before. People were asking for screw cover boxes, which you have in the box. You got the gray and the galvanized ones in the back. Okay? We've been told a long time, why don't they come up with a box that can mount a plaster ring? And we have plaster rings for these. You'll find these in your family on page 72 of the catalog, which is where the boxes are, and then right in there you'll see that we have plaster rings, 1/2 through 2 inch. We have single and 2 gang. We also have, if it becomes an issue, we have the blanks, and we have adapter rings that go on here where you can put on an 11B. If the guy doesn't, he says, I don't know, he says, sell me the adapter ring so I can put my own 11Bs on when I'm at the job site. I don't know what the raise I'm going to need, but I got a truck full of plaster rings. So you can do that too, just sell me the adapter ring put on there. It's a great little item. We got these in 3 different flavors, if you want to call it that. We have 1.5 inch and 2.5, and the 3.5 are the deep ones. They go all the way up, and the deep ones here, 1.5 inch knockout, which is really key too. That gets what these were built, and Bart's family, a lot of them lived down in Tennessee. His father retired there and everything else, and they stay in touch with some people down there. They have friends down there. One of them had a big datacom cabling company, and they, for a couple of years, said, geez, why don't we buy these pull boxes and they're a mess to deal with and whatever. Why can't you do something? Why don't you build a box? We did, and then all of a sudden, boom, here came an order flying at us from this guy, and he says, I'm serious, let's go. And so we did. We built them, and it's just we've added them to our line, and they've taken off nicely for us. And that, they're not ever going to outsell a regular $1,900, but they're a great item to have. And these are items that not everybody has, so you can get your price for them. It's a great item. That's an item that shows you that you guys are on top of where things are at and doing things. Likewise on that, offset plaster rings. We've added them to the line. Mulberry's had them, I think, for a while. I'm not sure who else has really had them. Maybe T&B had a couple. We've got a lot of different raises in that here, so keep that in mind. Offset plaster rings, as long as we're going with the box and cover family here. Another cover that we have, you're saying, what, this is kind of squirrely looking in that. Well, sometimes these guys get these things up in the ceiling, they put in the right square around, but the problem is that they didn't know which way the fixture or the strobe or the device was in the ceiling. So they got it up and now they go, oh my God, that thing's going to look like hell, like that. Or somebody puts one on one way, one on the other way. This is what we want to call kind of a good way of making sure things go right, let's put it that way. So keeping some people out of trouble. Another item that we have, again, these are items that not too many people have. Some of these are Garvin exclusive. This is not a Garvin exclusive, but this is an adjustable mud ring. So it starts out at 3/4 and goes all the way to about 1.5 inches, and it can just adjust. We constantly have people and there's jobs going on, and everybody is custom out there. Countertops and walls and drywall and everything else. So this is a great little item if you don't know, we had people with marble countertops that were putting these in, and they said, oh my God, this is exactly what we need. So great little item to have. Another item. Guys get on job sites and they start painting or there's other things going on, and you need, they've already got their wires pulled and everything. They don't want the wires getting paint on them and everything to make it harder. So you can snap these in right into a plaster ring, and boom, you got a, and they fit a little bit better than regular plaster ring, but they're all set and ready to go, and it keeps it nice, keeps the dust out and everything else. Continental has used these. There was one of the guys from Continental, I don't know who it was, called us, and he said, really, I sent him a sample directly to him, and he was great with it, and then I forget who the order came flying through, but it was great. He didn't know we even had them. So again, it's important to get these little items and mention them every once in a while, or if you hear something, you're at least getting the education now to know this stuff exists out there. Another item that's kind of a Garvin exclusive. If you guys are all familiar with swivel covers for the most part, okay? So basically what we have is a swivel cover where you have put this mounted up in the ceiling. The contractor, whatever, could put these on in the shop. They can bring them to the shop all assembled, ready to go with their stems on them and everything like that. And then when they get them up on the lift or whatever they do, they got the cover mounted. So we call this the hands-free because you're not fumbling with three things to get it together or trying to thread something up there. So you can get this up there and you can kind of set it in there without doing anything, and then and I've got the screw in here right now, otherwise you just move the screw and tighten the screw and you're all set. So kind of frees up, you don't need two people to do things, you can do it with just one guy, and then you got your swivel cover going. So we make these in 1900 and in the rounds, that's the octagons, so we have both. Let's see here, covers we talked about. Go into some more interesting items. We'll come from the covers down, we'll start coming down. Beams, and everybody's seen regular beam clamps. We had tons of calls, and Bart was down one time. He got called out by a contractor to go see something. He was down in the Sears Tower, back when it was a Sears Tower, years ago, and this guy gave me the idea. He says, look at all these flanges. They're building these buildings with these huge flanges, and nobody's beam clamp opens the jaws up far enough. So we decided that we were going to build these, and they've taken off pretty well. Sometimes you'll get that guy on the phone every once in a while. Gosh, John, I need a little bit more than 1 3/8 opening or whatever. Don't they make anything? So, bam, Garvin has them. We stock them over there. Again, it's an item that we seldom run out of. We got 1/4, 3/8, and half available on that. Moving along a little bit more. Well, we'll stay up in the ceiling for a second. Item that's kind of interesting here. I'm going to do the other cover. Somewhere. I have the big one around. Oh, there it is. It's easier even to demonstrate this. Okay, you have recessed cans. You got all these hospitals, hotels, and schools, and that they have all these recessed cans up in the ceiling and that, and they've gone to a different type of lighting, but they never took the cans out. So what are you looking up at? You're looking at a potential hazard with somebody sticking a finger if there's no bulb in it, bulbs breaking, air leakage going up the can and out into the ceiling or whatever, the hot air, and it just plain looks butt ugly. So what we did is we invented 3 sizes of these. I brought 2 of them with here today. We brought the 12-inch diameter. This will actually cover a 10 1/4-inch square can. So that's why we went this big. It'll cover that. Basically, it's similar. You just pull your trim down. You screw this in the socket, the people that buy, we got homeowners that call from Bufu, wherever, you know, and you know, little old lady, oh, what about my electricity? I'm so afraid. Well, lady, here, it's a rubber socket, you know, just screw it in and you're all set. Don't worry about it. Turn the light switch off first and screw it in. Okay, so, you know, so they, you know, we've sent them out 1 or 2 at a time, but I had, one of the first orders I ever took was a guy in Arizona. I thought he was kidding me. 200 of these, just one shot, boom. In Illinois here, it's totally untapped right now on these. It's just, our internet works, and we've been shooting these emails out to all over the place, especially where we know there's a lot of areas with, again, hotels and people that have money. So, and see what we can, and people that are, you know, California's another place that, you know, they're always the cutting edge of everything. They like to think that they're ahead of the world on things, even though they're a couple hours behind everybody. But, so we've got these in 3 sizes for the, like I said, the 10¼ inch can. This is for the, you know, 7, the H7 Halos or the IC22 series, and a smaller one. They'll go a little bit smaller. And then we have another one for the 4 and 5 inch cans. So, and it's the same whole thing. It's basically a rubber socket with some springs. It's just like a trim. It's just a trim would be. And the nice part about this, and a great selling factor to the hotels or anybody, if you decide to come back years from now, guess what? You don't have to hire that electrician to come back and do it, or even if it is, let's say you're dealing with an electrician, he doesn't have to worry about sending an A-card guy out there. He can charge for A-card time and have his guys go out there and send a B-card guy out and, you know, take these out, put a light bulb in, snap a trim up, and away they go. So it's a terrific little item for that. Okay. Another little controversial item for Garvin Industries is the split collar grounding bushing. We make these in 1/2 through 6 inch. Basically, the reason we made these is there was a lot of demand. We had another variety that we had. If you have the old blue Garvin catalog somewhere, you'll see the SCGB. It had a hinge on it. It would not come all the way apart like this one does. But and we thought the design wasn't bad, but we thought it could be made a little bit better. And Bart sat and thought about it. And we, and if you've never met Bart, he's the type of guy that Bart loves to invent things. He just, I mean, he lives for it. He goes to these shows, he looks around, he says, how can I make that better, or whatever, how can I do this and that? I mean, he's constantly doing this. But he built this, and this has been a tremendous little item. The only thing right now we're battling with is at first it was not UL, then it was UL, and now and we're back to not UL at the minute. And all because of a little insert that's in here. Basically, we're selling these at non-UL right now under a different catalog number, but it's on the sheet here and that. We make these in 1/2 through 6, as I said, and this is kind of what it would look like. Let's say you got a circuit breaker panel or whatever. You know, this turns all the way around. The lug on here adjusts into a different. You know, you can put it on a different size depending on you can move it. But this is great for when you got a panel board and all of a sudden the inspector comes up to the electrician and says, "Hey, you know, those are supposed to be grounding bushings in that panel, and you've got regular plastic bushings on there. You know, sorry, you know, you're going to have to put grounding bushings on." And he goes, "Oh my God, well I can cut the plastic bushings off. That's easy to do, but now putting a grounding bushing on, how am I going to do that with all these wires pulled?" And they look at this massive charges that it's going to cost them, and I'm mentioning the money involved to change over that because these aren't cheap, but it sure beats the heck out of the cost of trying to pull the wires back. And then pull them back, and then any shutdown time, you know, if somebody wants to, they could work it live or just kind of, you know, take a panel and shut it down one at a time. They don't have to get into changing the wires and pulling them back. And, you know, it's pretty much a one-man job as opposed to 2 or so being out there on the job site. The toggle locks, we have these. Your toggle switches, everybody now is you know, lock this, security cameras, this and that. These little items, they seem expensive, but I'll tell you what, we sell bunches of them, and they're just handy. They could be used on circuit breakers if need be, but most of the time it's for a toggle switch, and basically with the size of the opening, will fit almost any toggle switch that's out there. So there's some heavy duty stuff that, you know, I mean, most of the time you're not going to see it on a residential switch, but you may, you know, somebody may have it kid's bedroom or something, they want to lock the light off or whatever until they're ready to go or lock something in the bedroom off until they're ready to go turn it on. I am going to leave the bulk of the samples with you here too, by the way. One of our other great little items here, and I do have an abundance of these things. Let you guys take a look at this here as we're chatting, and just throw them all around on the desk and things like that so that people have them. That is our universal breaker lock, and in our universal breaker lock series, if you deal with any fire alarm people, people that do installs and things, right now the codes and the inspectors are getting around, and if somebody has an emergency circuit somewhere, they need to have a lock on it. The inspectors are starting to enforce this here. The fire department will come in and look, and they'll tag you for not having, you know, something on there. The little silver ones, we actually also have those catalog painted red that we sell in the catalog. And then we actually have we went to Bart just kept on going. He just said, you know what, it'd be great if we had a locking one. He says, I know I've seen locking ones in people's catalog. I said, yes, Bart, they do have that. So he goes to work and he says, I got to leave the breaker lock the way it is because that's a good idea. So he went and figured a way to put this little locking thing on there, and sure enough, it's worked, and it still maintains the universal breaker lock. The only breakers that, to the best of my knowledge, it will not work on are Zinsco, and I'm sure you don't have any of those on your shelf right now. Hopefully not. You know, PM Sales probably does, but they probably got a whole warehouse full of them. And the other one is Pushmatic, because of the push. That's it. So everything else we pretty much tested, and they work on it, and any one of the series will work. If you need those painted to be blue, red, yellow, green, whatever, we can do that. We stock 12 colors of paint that we paint for people, and it goes through the boxes and anything. So we do little custom things. You know, we're just trying to show that we do a variety of things like that, custom and everything else. So I'll be happy to work with you guys on any inquiries you have. The last item I have is behind you, and I just kind of left it plugged in because well, now I have plugs available over there, so I guess I could show it. Matter of fact, let me just pull up and go over there. This little item, I think you guys have bought a few of these in your days.
Yeah, JMS just bought like 50 of them.
Yeah. Basically, we have these. You could buy this with the cord. This is about as far as we go. We also have a shield that goes on the bottom of these. And that. We have this without the cord, the hardwire, which is the one that we sell the most. And then we'll also sell it without the lamp. So some people say, I don't like that color, I don't like this and that. You know, we'll sell it to you without the lamp. Put your own lamp in it and charge them accordingly at that point. So when you get these, they come nicely packaged and everything. You know, the lamp is actually in the box here, and it's inside the cage to protect it as best as possible in a plastic sleeve. So they generally are pretty good at keeping. We UPS them and not have that much breakage to speak of. So, how you doing, Jerry?
All right.
This is one of our great items. The nice part about this versus the HID, your benefits of selling this. Number one, lightweight, 2 fingers. I'm not that strong. That's the first thing. Second thing is, and that if something happens, if you have a power outage, it goes right back on. The HIDs, you're going to have to wait a little bit of time for. Another thing, 105 watts of fluorescent light. Okay, this is a self-ballasted lamp. It is equal to 6,400 lumens, which is equal to about 240 watts of metal halide. It will not take the place of a 400 watt metal halide, you know, that everybody has in their temporary lights. But a lot of people have 250s also. Another nice selling feature where you can beat somebody up on the 400 watt. A lot of these job sites, they're leaving certain ones on or all the lights on at night. Okay, so these things are running all night long. What happens when you're burning 105 watts versus 240 watts? I know if it's in my house, I want the 105 watts on because I pay the electric bill. All right. Same way with the, you know, project managers and the people that run these jobs. That's a good item. Another item that's great. Okay. do that with after it's been on for 10 or 15 minutes, whatever. Try and do that. Try and grab that lamp. Ain't gonna happen. Let's put it this way: you're heading to the hospital if you hold on to it like
Nice
that.
little G or right in your hand.
So that's about it. Do you guys have any questions for me?
On painting stuff, is there a minimum order?
I haven't run across one yet. Painting anything, we, I mean, pretty much, I mean, if, let's say you want something painted even for a sample, say, hey, you know, whatever. Let's say somebody's even pesky enough that they, you know, a good customer of yours and to, maybe to get the job on something else, he wants a couple boxes painted. You want, call me up and say, hey, Ken, you know, please do Paramount a favor and that, paint 2 boxes for me, sample them up, I'll do that. Mr. Garvin is very free with his samples on a general basis. I shouldn't really say that, but he is, and that he's very generous that way. And he's, you know, he'll go the extra mile. If it helps you get some, you know, we may not be even involved other than you just need something painted or whatever. If you have something that you need painted and you want us to do it, call us and we'll see. We've done a variety of things for people in that. Nobody needs conduit painted anymore because everybody, there's conduits painted out there now by the manufacturers. But, you know, fittings and things like that, you'll run into them on jobs every once in a while. So, but what else can I answer for you?
Has Electroflex decided to play ball with the Plenum Whips at all?
We compete against them, and we've actually tried to work with them on a few things, and they just haven't. We just haven't been able to get it together. I'm not sure whose fault it is. That's a level above me. That I do know that there's been conversations about some things, but Electroflex, I guess, makes the tubing, and somebody else makes the connectors, and those guys have a hard time even getting together a lot of times. So I don't know what they're going to do, but we're just trying to get our stock up high enough. And B, you guys should not lose truly a Plenum order because you know, that big bad guy back there, he started beating up the Plenum pricing way back when, and you guys got a few specials that pretty much nobody in the industry is even close on at this point. So, and we've got guys doing more business than you guys do overall, and we still, because you guys sell the Plenum right, which is something I love about Paramount, and that I never have anybody out there saying, you know, that damn Paramount, they're lowballing the crap out of orders again. I don't ever hear that. Not once since I've been at Garvin in 2.5 years have I heard that from anybody. I have had people name 3 different distributors and say, you know, Brook, Advance, Willow, you know, whatever. These guys, they lowball all the time, whatever. Never heard Paramount even included in 3 people. It's not that way. You guys do the right thing. Put it in the company's pocket. You know, so, and that's what we love, and that's why we will, you know, on any time I can, I bend over backwards to try and make you guys happy. Absolutely.
Never heard any complaints either. We make a pretty good run yet on stuff, and we've never had a.
Plenum is where you guys want to be to sell. I mean, it's a limited market. Even, you know, the EGSs and that. I mean, EGS and Rayco have, like, Rayco's got maybe 5 items in their line. EGS maybe has 7 or 8 items in their line. And after that, boom. The only other guy that's got it is Cross-Heinz. And from what I'm told, I'm not trying to knock the competition, but their stock is suspect on Plenum. They just have never, you know, gone whole gagas on it. They wait till they get orders on stuff, and that takes you forever. Well, your contractors aren't going to wait. I hate to say it. So, so that's, you know, kind of a good thing for us. And that's again why we have so many items. We try to be all things to people on Plenum. So, my goal, I told Bart when I started after about 3 months I was there. I said, Bart, we need to own the Plenum market in Chicago, and Cross-Heinz hasn't figured out yet either that, you know, the thing is, if they don't stock Plenum in Chicago, where else are they going to stock it? Who else wants it? New York? New York doesn't buy Plenum. California, they don't buy Plenum. So if you're not going to have your stock in Chicago, why bother even having the stuff in your line? You know, I can see Rayco, they make it in Indiana. Okay, I can understand that. EGS, you know, with distribution points in a couple places, I can see it being there. And they have nothing local for the most part. So it is what it is on that. What else can I answer for you guys? What other good questions? Because I probably used up most of your time now. And Kenny Finkel knows I can talk all day.
Well, on these,
Rezax on it here, so we're safe.
on these KO seals, what's the price on half 3/4? Because those I get complaints from on, I know they're not cheap, but the V lines are kind of, they seem outrageous to me.
Yeah.
You know, they're not, I know they're not cheap, but
Let me tell you,
$4
here's
I
the
think.
system that we have over at Garvin. Like, again, several of your prices, you have what they call a lock-in price with Garvin, all right? So that it comes up all the time. If we agree on a price, I try and lock it in, so I don't have to worry about it. Anybody can pull it up, you know, if I'm, you know, whatever, not in or whatever, if I'm doing a lunch and learn somewhere, they can look at the computer if they have to and pull a price and get it to you at that. We try to have only salesmen ever give prices out over the phone because we don't want somebody getting the wrong thing and creating a, you know, all of a sudden, you know, you guys got the special price and this and that, and then somebody gives out, they look at your price by mistake or something like that. Oh, we don't want that to happen. We're trying to create a market so people can make money. We're trying to be, you know, all friendly together and try to, you know, we're all here because we need a paycheck. And so that's what we're trying to do. And we would be happy to work on some pricing for you on that. Shoot me, if you want to shoot me an email or whatever, and just say, hey, you know, these are the sizes that I'm really hurting on, or, you know, I need everything. Give me the whole thing, half through 4. I'll do it. Just shoot me an email.
if a guy calls and he's half 3/4, it's $1,000. I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah.
You know, they kind of.
Yeah, the plain ones are kind of pricey
I
again
know
because
that.
there's not too many people out there, and somebody else kind of set the market way back when. So we're not trying to disturb the market much on that, but that doesn't mean that to just go after an order, or even again, I'm very comfortable about giving you guys prices on things because you guys, I don't hear you guys out there tossing ridiculous numbers around. So it's good. It's good. All right, now I promise, and then if there's any more questions you think of, I promise that there was a prize for the person that was listening the best here. And I came in, sure you're a little late. But maybe you ready.
He's still my audience.
The question is for 4 Cubs tickets.
Oh,
No, it's
4 Cubs tickets
No,
to
it's 17.
Sunday's game
No one's
this
getting it.
Sunday. All right. The question is,
he's on. White Sox fan.
who did Sam Garvin work for?
Thomas Edison.
there
We
it
gotta
is.
shred it. Let's try it out.
There it is.
They're yours to do what you want with. I saw him go to you, and that's it. So the camera saw him go to you, so I'm good. Whatever happens to him from here, you know, maybe you got to pay off a favor to a friend or whatever. You know, I see the White Sox there, and that's like,
It's White Sox shirt.
yeah. Well, a lot of guys like to go down there and wear the White Sox shirts.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, it's always fun.
Yeah,
I would be there.
it makes for a better time.
And the nice part about those tickets, they're on the first base side. They're set back and they're kind of under something, so you won't be scorching in the sun. So you won't be out in the bleachers. You know, you can get drunk under the thing as well as you can get drunk out in the bleachers. So at least you won't wind up with sunstroke where these seats are. So.
I'd much rather get drunk in a little bit of shade.
We sure appreciate your business. We even appreciate your time and things here today, and we hope things will continue.
What's the lifespan on the lamp there?
8,000 to 10,000 hours on the bulb. And the fixture, we don't know. We haven't had one fail yet.
Seriously, that's 35 of them.
First backyard.
We see these things come in onesies, and we see them come in. I just left, and I had somebody was quoting out 100 of them. One of the distributors was quoting out 100. I don't know who it's for, but the orders are out there, and we have a contractor in California that contacted us, and he's buying through Gexpro, and they are doing anywhere from 250 to 500 every 4 to 6 weeks. I mean, it is just a machine going out there. We don't know where they're going. We hope the train never stops. But it's just I have no clue what they're doing with these things. But it's just good business. And to give you an idea on the stainless steel box I was talking about here too, and that don't let the $20-something price tag scare you on this at all. That the other business that's out there, first of all, there's next to nothing available out there. There is nobody else that has these little knockouts in there to make it special. To give you an idea, we have an order right now that's in the process of shipping. A third of the order is already shipped. the whole order is $500,000 worth of stainless steel boxes. That's one box and one cover, 2 items, line items. That's $500,000. Now it is going overseas somewhere, but there's places that have to use stainless steel because of their atmospheres and things like that. But even your, any industrial business, your industrial contractors, if it's an oily environment, if it's, it could be a lot of different things. They might need the box, the stainless steel box, and they might be willing to pay for it.
Is the cover for that gasket?
Yes. Yeah, it's a neoprene gasket and everything, so it holds up. It's been tested, so it's pretty much you really a standard plenum box versus this, you won't hardly be able to tell the difference except for the coloring a little bit. So, and same way with the plenum cover. Bill Reesick was here earlier. He goes, "Yeah, that's definitely stainless steel." So he smells it. So, but the things Father Time knows.
So just licking it.
But I'm going to leave behind some extra catalogs. I'm going to leave behind almost all the samples here, including the template. Get them salesmen here to take this out on the road and show a few people in that. So,
Because I kind of knew about it. The guy called me from JMS. Oh, those green things. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, I know. And that's what I kind of opened the book and found it. But other than that, I never would have thought to sell it. So.
We sell it's an item that's now caught on in Illinois, and there's a few guys that are actually stocking them. And there's a few guys that have them on displays at their counter because, we've stopped in on a sales call, there's been some interest. We had one guy buying 20 here, 30 there, and stuff like that. And so we gave him one to put at his counter, thinking if he didn't have one out and he's selling this many, how many is he going to sell at his counter because he sees it now hanging. So, and likewise we're doing it with you guys. We'll leave it up there and go from there. So be happy to do that and plug it in if you want or not. And, show it to people, and it's kind of handy because this is the way it comes with the hook on and everything. So it's so light to hang that it's just. I had one contractor tell me he had 6 of them, basically on a clip on his belt or whatever.
Right.
And he took them up on the scaffold with him. He says I can never do that with a 400 watt metal halide temporary light. That's for sure.
The 400 watts are so top heavy.
Yeah.
It's just like a big.
Another huge factor with this is that it's something. You got 2 issues. You've got the bulb or you got power. That's it. There's no starting, no ballast, no starting capacitor ballast, any of that stuff. It's either the bulb is bad or it's the power's out, one of the 2. So, and those are pretty easy fixes for the most part. So everybody's usually got a light bulb laying around somewhere. They can test to see if there's power there or if it's a fixture. So.
I think they were around 60 somewhere in that area.
Yeah.
50.
Yeah, right now we're at, we've actually moved up to, we've been in the midst of starting to move some of the pricing up a little bit, but they're at 69. You guys are going to put some together for stock or something, I'll work with you a little bit on it. I don't have a huge amount, again, but I can try and work something for you, so we'll see. Put something in, throw something out there and I'll throw it back, so I'll put a price on and throw it back at you. I got a few more of these plenum sheets for you. I got some more of these sheets for you. So I'll leave some more cards with the catalogs there. Everybody, again, help yourselves to the catalogs. I'm sorry. And there's a box of catalogs with the other stuff here. The only thing that I need to take back is this, unfortunately. And there was something else, but I'll find it. But thanks again for the time and the support, guys.
Thank you.
All right.